Hello there, fellow film enthusiasts. Today, I'm diving into a film that might have flown under your radar, but absolutely deserves your attention. The movie is called Sudani from Nigeria. Now, with a title like that, and perhaps a glance at the trailer, you might dismiss this as just as another B-list comedy trying too hard to be funny. I certainly did. But let me tell you, I've never been happier to be completely wrong about a film. Released in 2018, this Malayalam language sports drama takes us to the football-obsessed region of Malappuram in Kerala, where sevens football isn't just a game, it's practically a religion. But don't be fooled, and if you're not a fan of football, don't worry, because while football provides the backdrop, this film kicks much deeper than that. Sudani from Nigeria follows the story of Samuel, a Nigerian footballer who comes to Kerala to play in a sevens football tournament, and the story of Majid, that is his Malayali manager. When Samuel suffers a fractured leg, Majid finds himself responsible for the player's care, leading to an unexpected bond that transcends language and cultural barriers. What makes this film special is how it takes such a straightforward premise and transforms it into something profoundly moving. There are no elaborate plot twists, there is no high-stakes drama, it's just genuine human connection depicted with remarkable authenticity. Before we go further, let me introduce you to something I knew nothing about before I watched this film, and that is the sevens football in Kerala. This isn't your standard 11-a-side match, it is a modified version played on smaller grounds with 7 players per team, and in Malappuram, let me tell you, the thing is absolutely massive. The film brilliantly captures how local clubs scrape together funds to bring foreign players, primarily from African countries, to boost their chances in their local tournaments. It is a fascinating glimpse into a sporting subculture that most of us outside Kerala might not even know it existed. What I think is very clever about the film is how it uses football as the perfect backdrop. You feel all the passion and energy of the sport, but it never overshadows the human story right at the center of the movie. The performances in this film are simply outstanding. Soubin Shahir as Majid delivers a masterclass in understated acting. There is a lived-in quality to this performance. He feels like someone you might actually know, struggling with financial troubles while trying to do right by others. And let me confess something, I've always had this preconception that non-Indian actors in Indian films tend to be, well, not great. However, Samuel Abiola Robinson completely shatters that notion for me. He, as the titular character in Sudani from Nigeria, brings such vulnerability and warmth to his role. Despite the language barrier within the story, his emotion translates perfectly by his acting. But let me talk to you about the real scene stealers, and that is the older woman. There is Savitri Sridharan as Majid's mother, and she's an absolute revelation, at least for me. Her relationship with Samuel, despite neither of them speaking each other's language, is one of the film's most touching elements. The way they communicate through gestures, expressions, and the universal language of care is both hilarious and heartwarming. What begins as a sport drama evolves into beautiful exploration of several profound themes. The first one being the meaning of home and belonging. Given that Samuel is thousands of miles away from Nigeria, in a place where he doesn't speak the language or understands the culture. Yet, he finds a surrogate family in Majid and his mother. The film delicately explores what it means to belong somewhere. Is it about geography, is it about language, or simply just being around people that care for you? The second theme is the breaking of barriers. The film beautifully portrays how human connection can transcend language, culture, and background. When Samuel is bedridden, Majid's mother cares for him as she would with her own son. Their inability to verbally communicate leads to some of the film's most touching and humorous moments. And let me stop here, because this resonated with me profoundly. It reminded me of my own trips to Kerala, where despite my linguistic limitations, I don't speak Malayalam, people welcome me with open arms. It just really shows how sometimes actions truly speak louder than words. And the third theme, and I think this is again really important, is the reality of migration. Beneath the warm exterior, the film doesn't shy away from the realities faced by foreign players brought to India for tournaments. They are often put into basic living conditions, they are paid modest sums, and face the loneliness of being far from home. I think it's a subtle but important commentary on exploitation in sports, in a context I never imagined. The direction by Zakaria Mohammed deserves special mention for its restraint. There is no melodrama or exaggeration of any kind, it's just honest storytelling that trusts the audience with the feelings. The cinematography captures Kerala's lush landscapes and everyday life with a naturalistic approach that enhances the film authenticity. You feel like you're there, in those modest homes and narrow lanes of Malappuram. And let me tell you about the music. The score really feels organic to the story rather than just imposed upon it. There are no elaborate song and dance sequences, as is traditional for most Indian movies. What you get is instead is just music that complements the narrative. For me, as someone who sometimes finds musical numbers very distracting and overrated in movies, this is very refreshing. In conclusion, Sudani from Nigeria follows the tradition of Malayalam cinema's greatest strength, and that is just telling grounded, realistic stories that touch your heart without resorting to gimmicks or spectacle. It finds extraordinary meaning in ordinary lives. What it could have been a simple fish out of water comedy instead becomes a moving meditation of kindness, connection, and the families we create. The movie is funny, yes, but those laughs are very, very well earned through genuine character moments rather than just forced jokes. So my verdict about this movie is don't miss it. This film is a perfect example of why regional Indian cinema deserves global attention. It is the kind of movie that leaves you feeling better about humanity. And in today's world, I think we could all use more of that. If you have seen Sudani from Nigeria, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't, I hope I have convinced you to give it a watch. Until next time, don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, happy watching.